Beginning today's broadcast, when it comes to fertilizer, UNL recommends a springtime application versus the fall. After all, it's more efficient to do it when the crop needs it as opposed to several months beforehand. But for producers who do choose to apply in the fall, there are some things to consider. Earlier this week, Extension Nutrient Management and Water Quality Specialist Dr. Javed Iqbal joined Market Journal's Troy Moling to discuss a new article he wrote on the topic. Javed recently started work at UNL, and he says there are some benefits you can get from the fall application that you won't find in the spring or summer.
The prices for fertilizers are cheap. There is more time for the farmers to apply fertilizers, and they have some tax benefits as well. And in fall, the soils are comparatively dry compared to spring, so that's why that contributes to preference for fall fertilizer application.
And in your article, you have a chart where you show the potential for nitrogen losses and crop uptake during the growing season. So explain to us what we're seeing here in this chart and how we can use this information when we're making our fertilizer decisions.
As you would see in the chart, there is more leaching and runoff potential during the early growing season compared to the crop uptake, which is late during the growing season, which starts actually from the May, June, July. So leaching and runoff potential for nitrogen doesn't match with corn nitrogen use. We recommend applying nitrogen fertilizer when the crop needs it. So multiple applications of nitrogen during the season would increase the nitrogen use efficiency and will increase the crop yield potential.
How are different soil types going to impact those fertilizer decisions?
So if you are going to apply fertilizer in fall, it is recommended to apply fertilizer in fine or medium to fine texture soils, because those soils has more clay or more organic matter and can hold ammonium nitrogen very well. Compared to sandy soils, when you are applying fertilizers in fall in sandy soil doesn't have as much as negative charges as the fine soils has. So there is less fertilizer holding capacity for sandy soils compared to fine textured soils. So there are more leaching potential, nitrate leaching potential in sandy soil compared to fine textured soils.
And then of course we have to talk about applying during certain temperatures, and from what I understand, the cooler the better, right?
Right. So cooler is better because nitrification stops below the 50 Fahrenheit. And nitrification is the process of converting ammonium nitrate to nitrogen. Nitrate nitrogen is really mobile, and it can be easily and readily lost from the soil profile. So when the temperature is below 50 degrees, nitrification slows down. So that's why we generally recommend applying anhydrous when it's below 50 degrees. And then nitrification would completely stop once the temperature goes below 32 degrees. So during the winter period, nitrification will stop, and it will help to safeguard the ammonium fertilizers into the soil.
And what about nitrogen stabilizers and the best products for that?
For nitrogen stabilizers, they are the chemicals that slows the release of ammonium to nitrate. NSERV is one of the common chemicals that is used with anhydrous ammonia during the fall application, and it can slow down the release of nitrogen from ammonium nitrogen and can reduce the leaching potential.
And all this comes back to the 4 R's of fertilizer, and I know that's something that you like to focus on, right?
Right, yeah. So 4R nutrient management practices are really critical component of nitrogen management. Those include right time of nitrogen fertilizer application, the right source of fertilizers, right rate of fertilizers, and right placement of fertilizers. So if you would consider all these 4R management practices, it can really help us to increase the nitrogen use efficiency, to decrease the nitrogen losses that we often see in the form of nitrate leaching and denitrification. And overall, it can help us to increase the crop yield and the farmer's profit.